Alrighty. So, long awaited, here it is. It is time, through all the difficulties and all your generosity, it's time for the Legend of Zaheer and his 80% performance of The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Let's go, Zaheer.
お、ついに始まりそうですね。
You're live.
All right, let's get right into the round. I'm gonna start the countdown, and I'll go and go. Like 3, 2, 1, then go. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
Ah, 始まりましたね。Good luck です。
Welcome to The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds 80% speedrun. I assure you, you are all in for quite the treat. Now, I would like for the couch commentary to
繰り返し案内になりますが、こちら
Hi,
の
I'm Miriam-chan.
ゲーム、解説の方がいらっしゃいません。もし、プレイしたことがある、もしくは、ある程度知っているよという方は、コメント欄の解説もいいですし、もしよければ、下のリンクからディスコードに参加していただければ、案内しますので、よろしくお願いします。
Gully waking us up to get the run started and all that stuff. But once I get outside, he's gonna talk to me about one of the weather vanes, explaining that I have to save the game and all that stuff. It might seem faster at first to just walk by, go to the next screen, and not deal with the weather vane whatsoever, but the game will not let me advance in any way unless I activate the weather vane and save the game. This is the only force
この風緑はセーブができるのと、まあ、テレポートというか、まあ、レポートですよね。スキップトラベルができる登録地点みたいな感じだったはずです。
That is the only force saved in the other game. I will be prompted a few times during some cutscenes, but I can just ignore those.
Most of the time when he's going to talk to a weather vane, it's just going to be to unlock the warp point, and you'll see that later.
That is true. That is true.
Are there any safety saves in this route, or are we going all in?
If everything goes well, and I could be onto some kind of potential, then I'll go for it. I'll go all in. But if something takes a little while to get, then I'll make the safety saves. So these are just the blacksmiths just asking us to take the sword to the guard that just left it here.
Do you want to let everybody know like your history with the game?
そうですね。この方、プレイしながら自分でも解説しますね。
Sure. But in a moment, because there's going to be...
We got some good stuff coming.
So we're taking a
ここ
very
で、
quick detour now.
今の
Instead of going straight
話
to
の流れ
where
だ
the
と、
blacksmith wants us to go
今、
to.
鍛冶屋にい
I'm
た
going to
人
go
が
ahead
剣を
and
忘れていったの
activate
で
this、weather vane right here, right
この
now.
人にお
So
城、
once
あの
that
人お城に行ったはずなので、お城に行って、剣を届けてほしいって言われるんですが、それをガン無視して、かかり込むらのワープ装置を起動した後に、山、本来なら行けないはずの山に無理やり進入するはずですね。そこだけ見ました。ここ、最初の見どころポイントです。カラスを誘導しておいて、あっと、失敗しました、ね。
If that happens, I can just lure him back into the same spot. Alright.
が出ますから、
That
カラ
second
スの位
throw
置を戻
wasn't
したり。
supposed to.
He has a friend we didn't know about.
So, it's just a very simple fix. Just come back.
カラスの位置をもう一回移動し
There
て、
we go. There we go.
空中でジャンプしてる間に当たることによって無理やり越えます。これで本来ならばこの石をどけることができないので入れないはずなんですけど、無理やり突破すると。
That you have to get past. So by doing this, we skip the power glove, and so yes, this is known as the power glove skip.
So, there is a lot of luck involved in this cave because I didn't get very lucky with any heart drops, but that's... Oh, that was...
There you
ここで10ルビー集めようとしたんですけど、もう集まりましたね。
I
この後
got
デスルーラするので体力減らしながらいくと思います。
and I have 10 rupees coming out of that cave. Those 10 rupees are going to be very useful very soon
多分 BGM も通常だとこんなに平和な BGM 流れてないはずっていう。
before
perishing.
で、この風緑を起動すると、
we're supposed to have that moment where
なんかアイテムレンタル屋のフラグが立つらしいので、ここでデスルーラすると、
Oh no, he died.
Oh no.
So the reason why I need 10 rupees is because
見知らぬ人に話しかけられま
Ravio
す。
shop early.
誰だお前ということでね。
Like normally we're not supposed to have this shop until way after
なんか家
Eastern Palace
も
or something.
戻ったらなんか家に
But
家を
the
勝手に
little
不法
cutscene, since we
占
went
拠
to
され
the
てるっていう。
fountain early, the little cutscene we saw with the spectacle rock erupting, that causes Ravio shop to appear. And now the reason why I wanted 10 rupees by the time the death warp happens is so that I can rent the
これ
bow
自分の家ですね、最初に
because
言っ
it's
てた。
only 10 rupees until after beating Eastern Palace. So
死ん
that
で
really works
自分の家持ってきた
out.
ら
But、I'm gonna
なん
rent the
か、
fire rod first because as much as Ravio loves money, he is
このゲーム
generous
最初
enough
に、
to allow us to rent the
借りたア
first
イテム、
item we
お金
attempt
足
to
りな
rent
くてもな
for
ぜ
free
か
if we don't
最初は
have
初回
any.
無料でレンタルしてくれるっていう。
And then I'll use the
の
10
で、
rupees that
ま
I
あ、
just got to get the
100ゴール
bow.
ドかかるはずの
So it really works
ファイア
out
ロッ
because
ド
the fire
と
rod
弓矢を
costs
集めて10ゴールドルピー
around
で
100 rupees to
弓矢を
rent,
ね、レンタルして
and it
行く
is
み
an
たいです
item
ね。
that we will be needing. We won't be
自
getting
分ここま
all
でし
the
か知らないの
items,
で、こ
but
れ以上はもうマジで何も知らないです。
fire, we will be getting most of them. So I'm just gonna go back to what the blacksmith wanted me to do, and talk to the guard, and then make my way to the sanctuary, so that I can continue the events with the game. And
This is
we're-
like a return to the story
そうなん
at
ですね。
this point.
yeah.
で、まあ、ここでようやく通常通り
from
の
Ocarina of Time. We got good old
ストーリーを進め
Dante
ていく
here.
中で、
Thankfully, you don't have to race them in a dungeon.
Or get a heart piece from
Yeah, he's just gonna panic a bit.
So, earlier when we were in the Moldorm cave, we had to rely nothing on just throwing pots at the Moldorm
まだ
and
生きてい
just
ること
trying
の
to
断片
avoid
さがいる。
the sporadic Moldorm movement in such a tight space. It was really fortunate that I didn't die inside the cave, and that I ended up with 10 rupees leaving the cave. But
ちょっとね、やりたいのは山々なんですが。
so we just got the
で、
sword.
まあ、ダンペちゃんにその
Dante,
借りてる剣を使えよみたいなことを言われて、剣が使えるようになりました。
and I'm gonna push this grave because there are a grand total of 50 guaranteed rupees that I could get from Sanctuary here, and I'm gonna need that to rent the Tornado Rod once I'm out of the Sanctuary.
Once you get the lamp, the ability to actually use these items opens up.
Yes, that is true. So all the other rupees that I collect in here is a total of 2 guaranteed red rupees and 2 guaranteed blue ones. But with the kind of rupee route that we do have, whatever spare rupee drops we can get can be useful for us.
It'll save you getting rupees later on that might be a little bit more out of the way.
Yeah.
まあ、的確にルピーを集めなが
Yeah,
ら
so the sanctuary here is
死んだ
pretty
ね。
much sort of just like a pretty basic tutorial dungeon that Zahir is going through right now.
お
Got the
お、
trouble.
I heard a rupee drop, so I tried to
一
look for
発
where it
で
was, but
3人倒してますね。
it's a little too far out of the way right now. So, we're about to reach the cutscene where we meet Yuga for the first time. I get to skip this cutscene, but this is supposed to lead up to meeting Ravio for the first time.
But we already know Ravio.
And so that's gonna create some fun.
That bed doesn't look too comfortable.
The big old table. Hey, there he is. There's Ravio.
多分ここが通常プレイの不法し選挙シーンなんでしょうけど
Oh,、there he is.
すでに商品棚が置いてある上に、なぜか2人いると
Now
い
we
う
got two buddies.
Yeah.
非常に恐ろしいシーン。商品棚の上に乗せられている上に、
So
Yeah,
essentially,
like
what's
that.
happened here is the game is overlapping 2 states of Link's house on top of each other, resulting in 2 Ravio spawns. And it will be like this for the remainder of the game.
怖いんですよね。
Honestly, what's better than one of you?
急に喋る方が気変わるという。
Absolutely.
There's actually another side effect to the double Ravio here. There's one of the stages, Shahashala, or however you pronounce it.
Hasrala. Yes, the Hasrala.
There's actually two of him for the rest of the game as well. We're never going to see it in the run. It happens at his own house, but we never go there. And if we do, and run into the double Shahashala, the game fucks, so...
I actually did not know that. I don't ever want to go to his house then.
An additional side effect of this is that the stamina meter that you would normally get at this point is not going to appear. It's still there, and it affects your ability to use your items, but you're not going to be able to see it, and so you just have to know.
Yeah, it's a visual thing only. It still exists, just it's kind of a mystery for us. Well, not for Zaheer. He knows exactly where his.
この辺ちょっと正規ルートなんかどうかよく分かってないんですけど。
It's kind of mandatory.
神々のトライフォース2って確かダンジョン攻略順が結構自由と聞いたので、いけないことはない感じの攻略順なんですかね、この辺は。
Alright, so we're in Eastern Palace now. Now, what I'm gonna do, first I'm gonna take a damage boost off of this steel rolling ball to get past the really big one. Because if you get hit by the big one, he gets a really big knockback and falls to the ground, and it takes a while for him to get back up. So those invincibility frames really come in handy. And I'm gonna. It seems like I'm going slightly out of my way for here, but I do need those rupees for the rupee route throughout the run. Because right after
ここで結構ね、そ
Eastern
の
Palace here, I'm gonna rent the hammer,
3DS の立体視が一番来た
and I'm still
かどうか
gonna
みたいな
need
話がありますが、
200 extra rupees
結構ここ 3D の立体視だったら楽なんだろうなというような感じのね、高低差があって。
The whole B room is a very difficult room. Very impressed by your skill on this moment.
So right here is going to be something that the Power Glove skip helps us do, which is
コメントの補足ありがとうござい
normally we
ま
can't have the
す。
Tornado Rod in Eastern Palace, but because we do, and
まあ、
the
なんか明ら
tornado
かに
rod
怪しいことを
glitchy,
して、
well, watch.
序盤に行けないはずのところに行って、アイテムレンタルを早くやってるってことになりますよね。さらに、ここで、この像を利用して、ダメージもらいながら、このレジェンドドッグを使うことによって、壁の上に乗ることができるという。壁の上から壁の扉の裏側に行けば、ボス戦に行けるじゃない。誰だお前ということで。
Our poor fella, Osfala, he is having a bad day.
It's kind of what he gets for taking those sand route of all items to this place.
Yeah, we'll revisit him at a later point.
実は、教会でムービースキップした時に会ってたはずの人らしいですが。神々のトライフォース2でも、扉の裏側に行ってしまえる、生じてしまったのかというね。
And this part here, I'll shoot 2 arrows again. But now, for the rest of the fight, I can only just shoot 1 arrow at a time because I've used up nearly all my stamina, and it only recovers just enough where I have to cover the rest of the hits with the sword instead.
リンク君は壁の壁画になることができる能力を手に入れた。
At any point after the death warp in the very beginning, because
こんな感じで。
the way how the rental system works,
これも面白い仕組みですよね。
is that you get to keep it as long as you don't die. If you die, you lose all of your rented items, and that could really throw a wrench in the run.
It's a very tragic moment. And also, you can now merge into walls during the cutscene, which is skipped. You gain the ability to merge into walls, which is, of course, the trademark feature of this game.
And now the rest of Eastern Palace is just me picking up rupees that I do need for the rupee route. But other than that, we're pretty much through with Eastern Palace. As a matter of fact, now would be a good time for donations.
Well, it just happened that I do have a couple of them, including this $200 one from True MG. Says, I can't believe our man Zaheer finally went to GDQ to help this good cause. Your entire stream has your back, bearded buddy. Make us proud and don't forget to skip everything. I expect many beers in the chat. Good eatings from Germany. Hola, guten Tag.
200ドルの寄付が
We've
あり
got
ましたね。
$50 from Tiger Gal. Says,
これ
hey,
で
Zah, I won't be able to see your run because of work, but I want you to know I'm so proud of you and hope that you smash that run.
Thanks, Kat, and thank you, MG.
What's our progress towards that Sewn blindfolded center? Because that's coming up here.
I don't know. I can't see it. No. We've got about $2,300 away from that blindfolded run. So if you don't get it in before Zaheer finishes run, we
会
got
話
a
シーン
problem.
全
I
力で
told you.
連打しますね
So。let's get it in there. $2,132.41. Let's go.
So at this point in the run, we're just finishing up some story stuff, and we're going to go on a grand adventure, right, Zaheer?
Absolutely.
A grand item collecting adventure, more than anything.
So it might seem like I'm going a little out of my way to
はい、
come
こんに
to
ち
the
は。
shop and re-rent the items, but it is important to do this now because not
これって
only
一
is
人
the
残り続けるん
hammer
です
on
ね。
sale for only 20 rupees, but the bombs will be useful very soon for
あ
a cutscene
そうか。
skip.
多
It's
分
gonna save about 20 seconds,
フラグ上は
and
ま
so
だ
just
お
watching
店
it, so it's
はやっ
very
てないん
much
ですか
worth
ね。
just going out of the way to come to the Ravio shop here. And soon enough, very conveniently, we're gonna cross one of the bridges, and we're gonna meet up with. We don't have time to look for Gully.
Who?
最初に呼びに来て
She,
くれ
she
た
wants
男の
to
子
help
が
us find her son, but
行方不明になったみたいな感じですかね。
We'll find him soon enough.
and here we meet Irene. This is how we unlock the fast travel for this game. Now, to get back to the deal with Gully, he has the item pouch, which enables us to use items on the X button, but it's really far out of the way just to deal with all the cutscenes involved with that. So we're actually just going to be locked down to item on Y for the entire run. But soon enough, it's not really going to matter for us. We can handle one item for the whole run just fine.
雷のトライフォース2、結構女性キャラクターが可愛いみたいな
And
評
at
判
this
よく聞
point,
きま
you
す
are
よね。
heading
あの
northward to
新作のスマッシュブラザーズ
Zora
に
Kingdom.
参戦するゼルダ姫もすごい可愛いみたいな話がありま
And
した
I'm going
が、
to activate
あの
this
デザ
one
イン
right
も
here,
確か
so we could drop
雷
it
のトライ
back.
フォース2デザインだったと
When we
か、
need
なんと
to
か
soon
聞
enough.
いたような、聞かなかったような。
And that's actually the last weather vane I unlock in Hyrule, and Hyrule specifically. Now just get past those enemies.
And they can be tricky, those crabs.
Yeah. The reason why I have to pick up the heart container at Eastern. But this little cutscene here, this is how we're able to buy the Smooth Gem in Kakariko Village and unlock the Pegasus boots as well. So once that's done, we go right back to Kakariko. And the first thing we'll do when we get here is to buy the Smooth Gem, which is 200 rupees.
Which, thanks to the routing, you have more than enough at this point.
この石を買うためのフラグ
We
が
do
今
still
の
have
ムー
to
ビー
worry
みたいな
about
感
the
じのことを言ってま
rupees
すね、多
for the
分英語
route.
で。
Up until we get the Master Sword, we want to have a minimum of 150 by then because we still need to rent the Ice Rod and the Hook Shot. The Hook Shot being 50 rupees and the Ice Rod being 100 rupees.
結局に各地からお金を集めますね、このリンク。
119. If I was at 130, I'd be in really good shape. But since I'm not, there are some backup rupees that I will have to grab. But it shouldn't be too bad. It's right in front of the Zora's Domain. And now we're getting the Pegasus boots here from the Shady guy. Now, aside from just allowing us to run really fast with the boots, this is going to be pretty useful for some big skips later on in the run as well. So now I'm gonna head back to where the witch's house is. And that's the only time I warp back to this weather ring. But I have to make my way back into Zora's Domain to get the
まあ、
Zora
草刈りしてる
Clippers.
とお金が出る世界なので、
All the dungeons in
多
this
少はね、
game, except for Swamp Palace, can be done just fine without the Zora flippers.
今手に入れたアイテムかなんかで、こうダッシュが使えるようになったんですかね。
Right.
So here we're going to
私のルト姫はどこ？
the bomb rod glitch. You got it?
Yep.
There's a little cutscene right at the top of that staircase that if you touch that trigger, that's the 20 seconds that you would save it without doing it. And it's a very boring 20-second cutscene too, because this already is a very long cutscene in itself.
Not to mention weird.
Yeah.
Unless you try to watch the cutscene right after this one, then, you know.
Then it's entertaining.
Yeah. That cutscene trigger is still there, so if you, at this point, if you were to walk over the trigger, it would in fact go again, and it looks really even stranger and silly.
In this scene, the giant Queen Orin eats a fish, and without her being really large, there's just some floating fish being eaten, and it's very fun.
And that's why I go
Oh,
kind of out of my way when leaving, because I
なるほど。何気にムービーカットしていると。
take the time to do that, but it is pretty entertaining if you watch it.
Look it up on YouTube.
So those were the backup river rupees that I was talking about. It's because I really want to be sure I'm at 150. 142 is really good right now. There are 6 guaranteed rupees in House of Gales and plenty of opportunities for random rupee drops. So
We are heading now to the House of Gales.
right. Now House of Gales has got some few skips, but one really big one that's gonna help us skip a lot of rooms. And they really show what Tornado Rod can do with this game. So first I'm just gonna carry that pot with me, throw it to that switch so I don't have to go all the way around by falling into the thing or something, or using the bomb to wait for that. But I'm gonna time using a Tornado Rod right there so I can kill those 2 skulls quickly and then quickly get to the other one before he gets away. Because I do need this key to get to the next room, which has a 2-frame trick coming up with the Tornado Rod. And this game does run at 60 frames per second, so
このトルネードロッド装備してるとなんかちょっと怪しいなと思ってしまう。
we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
There you go. Making it look easy here. Making it look real easy.
Now, that Tornado Rod in itself only saves 10 seconds in total, but those 6 rupees are very, very important to the route, so it's worth going for. And then I just time using a Tornado Rod.
All right, let's go Monster Gut.
The first time you get the monster guts, it does the little cutscene, so it's always nice to avoid that, but it was kind of in the way.
It's around 2 to 3 seconds each time I have to pick up an item for the first time like that. But if I pick up more monster guts, I don't have to worry about that as much, but if I pick up the monster tail or the monster horn, it's going to be the same deal.
今のシーン、何気
So
に
hopefully I don't run into those two either.
But only time will tell.
最初に使っていたような壁の上に乗るようなバグを使ったみたいですね。
So I'm going to use a Tornado Rod right there to get this keys to move to where I want him to
ダ
be,
メージ
and
受ける
then
だけ
use
じゃ
a
なくて、
Tornado Rod to damage boost off of him right into
あ
the
やっ
next
ぱりダ
floor.
メー
And
ジは
this
受けるのが必要なんです
that
かね。
skipped a bunch of rooms in this dungeon.
敵側から出たりするのでも、う
Including
ま
the
く
mini
やればいけるかもしれない。
Here he's going to do a dash slide. When you cancel a dash, you actually slide forward a bit, and you can cross gaps. That's going to come in handy much later.
ほぼ直線でボス上に入っ
This
てます
boss,
ね。
there's a lot of stamina management is the king of it.
あと、頑張りゲージっていうものが普通は表示されるはずなんですけど、頑張りゲージの説明をカットしてるせいで、
So I know
頑張りゲージが表示されないようですね
we。were in the House of Gales, but we're actually
なので、頑張りゲージ、表示されてないだけで、
pancakes.
判定はあるの
We
で、
got all these layers and stuff.
スタミナが切れないように、
And it's
う
even
まく調整する必要がある
Halloween
みたいなことを
themed. Halloween's right
英
around
語
the
で聞いてる気
corner,
が
so
し
they
ます。
decided to plop in a giant eyeball on the top too. Really up in their marketing game since the whole IHOB situation.
So he jumped off there intentionally because, for whatever reason, if you void out, your stamina meter goes back to full.
There's a lot of good use of putting down the bombs to
大
get
きい
some
ボム
extra
が
hits
完
in
璧ですね。
while you're also being able to do sword swings and manage that stamina.
Yeah, so for each cycle of this fight, there are progressively more and more layers that the boss places themselves on top of, which is what adds to the challenge.
あ、
That was
これは
intentional, I promise.
I believe you. People want to clap. Let's clap.
Yeah.
A GDQ pastime.
ああ、落下してるのは、落下すると頑張りゲージが
Alright,
即
so
回復するの
now
で、
would
それ
be
や
a
ってみたいです
great
ね。
time for donations.
Alrighty, we got $25 from Jamama. Says, hey Zah, Jamama here. You finally got in. Glad to see one of my favorite streamers and good friends running here. Want to keep the hug train going from Jim's run, so I'll donate again if the whole couch, including the back couch, wiki, hugs.
All right. This man picked me up yesterday at the
Back
booth,
couch,
though.
let's get to it. Show some loving.
Oh gosh. This is the most comfortable situation in GDQ history. Okay, we can release. We got the money, I think.
Bye. And of course, I got $100 from GDQx. Says, I want to see a blindfolded Castlevania run. I don't want Rom Scout to see it, though. And of course, that puts us at about 13,112 out of the 15,000.
本家の
Running
プライ
out
ド
of
カッ
time,
パの
1800 and
エモー
change
ト
to
が
go.
いっぱい貼られてますね。
You could probably fit one more.
Yeah.
All right, I'll squeeze this one in here. We have a $25 anonymous that says, glad to have a GDQ in California.
Agreed.
Yeah, let's go California. Everybody's really excited for that one. All right, we're going to do some fun little magic here.
なので多分これからも結構、
Alright, so
ハートに余裕があれば、
So that was case
わざと
case
落
skip
下
just
とか
now.
して頑張りゲー
It
ジを
saves
回
having
復
to
し
go
て、
through the normal entrance,
早くする
go
っていう
around
シーン
on
が
the
ありそうですね。
outside just to come back to the same cave. For some reason, if we position ourselves properly, we just do a diagonal dash like that. He just runs along the railing. I'm not sure why he's able to do that, but he can, and it's useful. And then I'll take whatever I can get.
Now, Tower of Hera is a really fun dungeon because our tornado rod is going to be used for its full power here soon.
Kind of hoping this spin attack wasn't going to recoil off of him, but it happens.
This will be the third use of that tornado rod, the bomb rod glitch. So what happens is, for whatever reason, when you take damage when you're in the middle of the tornado rod going flying up, it reevaluates your position in the dungeon. So you can use it to like go between floors and get on top of objects and stuff.
これ 2D ゲームなのにすごい高低差だけで登っていってますね。
None too much in the way.
その塔。
All right. Everyone in the audience, I have a huge favor to ask of all of you. Oh, that was really close.
おっと
So once I get this bomb rod,
今やってること明らかに怪しい気がしますが。
count to 13 heartbeats. If you can see his life meter on the bottom left corner of the screen, is gonna.
ボムを置い
I'll let
て
you know when I start to count, but I'm gonna need help counting to 13. But it's gonna be kind of like a
この
Dora the Explorer.
上の部分でさらにダメージブーストするんですよ。
And this is a frame perfect trick too, right? Is it frame perfect or two?
2 frames.
Two
but
frames, yeah.
Definitely a very tricky trick, though.
結構苦戦します
This is one of those, I think, the first real barrier to entry if you're a new runner of the game. But once you get it down, you'll be real comfy with it.
Yeah, so thankfully when you're doing it, you can tell if you're early or late, because if Link doesn't get hit by the explosion, then you went too high, too early, so that you need to use the tornado rod later. And if he gets hit but doesn't achieve the desired effect, then he was too late.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, ready? I'm gonna start the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
We have a problem coming up.
9,
10,
11,
Oh,
12, 13. All right.
tornado rod.
これは多分頑張りゲージの回復を待ってますね。今のカウント
It
は
was。like Dora the Explorer. Thank you, Zahir.
Thank
Bringing
you.
me back to my
Thank you,
childhood.
audience. Give yourself a round of applause for that. So, anyone want to explain why exactly I had to count to 13?
Your stamina.
Yeah.
Your stamina needs to regen because the tornado rod uses a big old chunk of stamina, and you need to make sure you have enough because if you don't have enough, Link's going to tumble back through the tower a bit, and that's just going to waste more time.
Those two, when he did the tornado rod twice to go up after he waited the 13 heart cycles, you have to do those very quickly in succession or you will fall back down.
And from here, it's a pretty by-the-books ascension of the tower here because, of course, the boss key's not too far out of the way of the boss door.
Right
It's
across.
here. Yeah.
And no leg. Here's the boss door.
It might not look like you can make it across, but you actually can. I mean, you would have to be, you know, a little quick about it, but it's fairly lenient to get to the other side, so that's pretty nice. I'm gonna grab that while I have the time. So
Hamburger.
here we got the Burger King.
ハンバーガー言われてますけど。
And he's the Burger King because he lets it have it our way. And the reason for that is, if I stand directly in front of him after a full rotation of him spinning, he will chase after us. And then I can usually get easy hits in,
But he is tricky. He is a tricky boy.
So it's actually possible to skip this heart container and have it be faster, but only if I kill the Burger King closer to the top right or left corner where those moles are, because I can fall back down, hammer the moles, come back up, and that pendant will actually be instantly spawned right there. But since I was much closer to the heart container itself,
自
it
分、
makes
このゲームやっとったの
more
で
sense for me to just
この攻略
run
順
back
がどうなってるのかよく分かってないんです
have
け
the
ど。
pendant come down. But at least this way, more health for me throughout the runs, because once again, death is not good in this game.
It's not an option. It's a run ender in this game.
I do have backups in case it happens, but generally, like, if you're doing runs at home or something, you don't want to deal with that.
攻撃飛んできている。
So I'm going to make my way back to Kakariko Village here, because we do have all three of the pendants now, and I can get the Master Sword.
A very important item in the game. And the lore.
お、これはマスターソードですか
And
ね。
it's good that I have 150 rupees by now, because I do have enough to
この
rent
森
the
は
last two
まあ
items.
マ
And
スタ
the
ーソードだろう
timing
と
of renting...
誰でも分か
Actually,
ってしまう。
I'll get to that in a bit, but I should explain this first. Now, this mini game right here, where these ghosts move within the circle, will always be the same, but the exits that they choose will be different every time. So I just memorized the last spot he's going to be before he chooses an exit, and it looks like he chose the left exit, which is... Oops. That's okay. So if I line that up correctly, like in the very middle of those two bushes, I would normally just dash straight through, but it can be a little precise.
Now, Zaheer, we know we got Rumscout's blindfolded Soten run hopefully coming up. I think you can do the third one of these, the hardest version of the pose. I think you can do that blindfolded. Do you think you can do that?
3 ghosts,
Yeah, the last one.
blindfolded.
Yeah, blindfolded. Now that's an incentive I think you could do for free right now.
All right, I'll do it.
多分最初に
I will do it.
答えるってことは
You
幽
just
霊
close your
を
eyes. Okay.
目で追っていけばそっちの方向にが答えみたいな感じなんですか
Just
ね。
make sure you match
Wait,
that.
wait,
Yeah, match it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is a master at work here.
You can feel where they are in the game.
Yeah, there's no rumble in the controller, just in case anybody's wondering.
あ、コメントの方ありがとうござい
Nothing
ま
like
す。
that.
実は画面右下の方に小さい表示されてるっていう。
They've been mixed up. Find them.
Yes.
You did it. You did it. Well done. I don't think Rumscout could ever do that. So
In case it wasn't obvious, it's always down for that third round.
hey, I spent like 5 minutes setting up that one.
All right, so now we have the Master Sword, and I was about to mention a little earlier that the timing for renting the last 2 items that I need works out really well, because once you have the Master Sword and you try to enter Ravio's shop, he's going to introduce to one of the best techniques in this game known as Quick Equip, And this is why we don't ever have to worry about the X item slot, because this way
確かに。
we can just
一つ
use
しかダンジョン
quick
これ来てない気
equip.
がし
We
ますけど
never
ね。
even have to pause the game. Whatever item we'll need, we'll just use quick equip and just equip that item instantly. But there's more to it than just changing items without pausing. Now,
まだ
what
2
you
人い
can
る
do
のか。
with quick equip, you can do this thing called quick equip cancel. And what that does basically is that whatever end lag most items do, you can cancel it entirely just by activating quick equip during the end lag animation. The best example being the hammer. The
ここまで
hammer
の
is
道中
one
で
of
多
the
分、
laggiest
この
items to use.
レンタル用のお金を貯
You
めてきて
can
る人で
just
すよね。
use quick equip just as soon as the hammer hits the ground, and then pull up quick equip, and then you have instant control of Link. And that's going to be very useful for some tricks, including the Ice Rod clip and Fire Rod boosting. You're going to see plenty of that during the low roll segment of the game.
Those are the tricks that really made this game like shave minutes off real quick.
So because of the power glove skip in the beginning of the game, the castle's going to be kind of in a weird state. When you first go to the castle like casually, it's all friendly and there's
随分
nice
平和そうですね。
guards.
And leads you your
右で弓
way.
が構えてるやつがいますよ
Good.。
But what's happened here is that we're going to have that state as well as the state where they're hostile to you when you're going up to fight Yuga.
This is happy, sad Hyrule Castle. Both things are happy and sad at the same time.
Okay, what I don't understand is that I had to get checked by that
これは
guard,
多分、
but
どうなんですかね。
you got two bad green
一番最
guards
初
over
に
there.
剣を届ける
Waltz
イベント
in,
か
no
なんか
problem.
を
Note
消
that
化し
they're
ないから、
actually
それが出て
floating
るん
in
です
the
かね。
air. I've
They're
never
very skilled guards.
because it freezes the time, I guess, when it does this cutscene. Those guards just are actually spawned on
敵は
above
敵
the
で動くんです
ground.
ね、ちゃんと。
And we just have to sit here.
We just gotta wait for Impa to make preparations for the greatest cutscene in the game.
So when I
あ
played this game for the first time,
あ
I
の
thought
教
you
会
would always have to read
教
all
会
five
で
of
人が
those
閉じ込められたことを
portraits
報
over
告するっ
there.
ていうイベント
But
は
it turns
なっ
out
てる
you
んですか
can
ね。
just wait right here, and Impa will come and let you in anyway. It's much faster to do this than to go through all five of those paintings, portraits, or whatever.
衛兵と
Now-
敵モンスターが同居す
First,
る
we
世界。
had Dampé from Ocarina of Time guest appear. Now, we're gonna have Zelda specifically from Spirit Tracks
なん
visit
か
us
喋って
here
ます
as
かね。
well.
何も映
This
ってません
cutscene's a
が。
little messed up. Normally, it would have a close-in on Zelda and all that stuff, but because of all the enemies here, that kind of
ゼルダって書いてま
things
す
are a
よ。
little
誰ですか
messed
ね、こ
up.
の
We
人。
kind of half go through this cutscene, mostly the text, but it's still faster than the normal cutscene. And there we
な
have
ん
it.
か移動
Spirit
します
Tracks
よ。
Zelda.
ゼルダ姫、なんかすごい赤い色引いてましたね。なかなかなかなか着込んでますね。武闘派の姫
So
だ
I'm。just gonna make my way to the main part of Hyrule Castle, where we
こ
gotta
れすごいですよね。フラグカフェどうなってるんですかね、このゲーム。
and fight Yuga here as well. Now this first enemy room, not this room, this room right here. There's something very specific that I gotta do with this chain and ball guy. I gotta do 3 sword hits, and for the 4th hit specifically, I use a bow. Because for some reason, if you do 4 sword slashes normally, he will automatically block the 5th hit and then attack, and you can't do anything until you let him attack. But using a bow for some reason just resets that, so I can just use the last 4 slashes just to finish him off.
That was the first use of the quick equip cancel. He was using quick equip there to avoid the extended animation from using the ice rod. So he could use it again much faster.
そう、壁際に立つのやめろって
Just
感じ
like
ですけ
inside Eastern Palace, we're just gonna use our friend the Armos to climb the walls.
ど。出て戻るあたり、すごいなん
Now
か、
for the
よく見た光景って感じです
for
ね。
the ice rods
お、
that I was using on that
ゼルダ姫が可
soldier,
愛くなってる。
I couldn't
さっきまで武闘派だったのに。
use quick equip as quickly as possible because even enemies have a bit of invincibility frames to themselves. So if I try to go too quickly and use one too soon after another, then it won't actually hit him. It will be that way later on when I try to kill certain
絵にされて
enemies
しまっ
with
た。鎧着てないから。
the ice rod, but we will be doing something pretty important with ice rod soon enough. That does involve quick equip canceling the ice rod.
How are you going to deal with these 4 enemies?
ゼルダ姫が2人も。
Yuga's got a strong defense. Oh,
Nope.
All right. Pegasus boots. What a powerful item.
So these sets
斜めダッシュが完全に
I
出る
do
ところ
a
まで
diagonal dash like that to go
きれいに
straight
投影してく
into
れ
the
てますね。
door. But there's
おっと
a possibility that he can bonk like that. And I'm glad I got the first one at least, so you can kind of see the difference. I'm not sure exactly what causes that. I want to say it's the location of where you start the dash, but it's really finicky. But it doesn't cost too much if I do bonk, but in the event that I don't bonk, you know, it's pretty nice. So now we're approaching Yuga 2. It's pretty easy like Yuga 1 in Eastern Palace, but there is some element of luck with this fight. Because what he can do is that when he merges into the wall with the other 2 fake Yugas that he has, what he can end up doing is going all the way around the room in a full lap, and there's nothing I can do about that. And if I know which one the real Yuga is after he appears for the first time, but then for the second time he merges back into the wall, and if he crosses up with another fake Yuga, which he didn't do here luckily, but if he crosses up with another fake Yuga, it's impossible to tell which one's the real one after that, because he could choose to continue his same route or turn around completely. Like, they crossed up there, so the only way I was going to find out is after he came out like that. But he actually stayed his route and then ended up in a bottom middle part of the room, but he could have easily gone to where the other fake went. Alright, and yeah, now would be a good time for some donations.
And also maybe an update on that, the Soten blindfold. I'm really wanting to see that.
I know.
I don't know if
I'm
it's
trying to
obvious.
find a reason to say the word quick equip. I kind of like that now. We've got $10 from Kotu says, hello, Zahir. I wish you the best of luck in this run, but the question is, did I miss the chess game? Hope I'm not too late. And of course we have Yo.
この演出
Super
で
excited to see a
あれ
link
ですか
between
ね。
worlds at GDQx.
神々のトライフォースとおな
Donut
じみ
Ninja for $5 says the Zelda games are some of my favorite, and playing them for charity is even better. Also, hi MC.
裏世界ですかね。
Hope you're having a good time at TwitchCon so far. And of course, speaking of that blindfold incident, we are 1,400. Let's see, 6 carry the 1 dot the cube. $1,467.41 away. That is how far we have to make that blindfolded run happen.
And that has to be done by the end of Zahir's run. And he's going fast. He's waking up on a second table, and this thing is already going real fast.
And you see how fast his fingers move on that button over there now. Come on now.
Fastest master in the West. Actually, Gymnast, you're pretty fast, too.
ちょうどね、予定時間1時間半のうち42分に突入ってことですから、ちょうどいい感じの時間に突入したんじゃないでしょうか。
What the developers had intended for this game is that you can choose any dungeon in any order you like, but we have a specific set route to do what's faster, and it might seem like Thieves' Hideout would be the first one to go because it's right next to where we are right now, but we're actually going to be saving that for last, and I'll get to more on why that is later on when we get to Thieves' Hideout. But the first dungeon we're going to end up doing is Swamp Palace instead.
You've been playing for a while. Maybe you should.
裏世界ではどの
You know, that
順
is a
番で
good
もうこれだけ
suggestion,
で
I
きて
think,
ます
for
ね。
all of us from time.
So I did save it there because there is a soft lock that can possibly happen in Swamp Palace.
細かいですね。
And this is the final weather vane I'm going to activate. We only need to activate 2 in low roll. And the reason why we get that one is because it's super close to a portal, so we can have really quick access to high roll when we need it. And what I'm going to do very soon is do a bomb flower
ダッシュが最適化されてますね。
using the ice rod clipping.
And this is where things get really precise and fun.
For whatever reason, that ice cube that it makes when you goes in the water has collision.
今のは普通のテクニックなのかちょっとよくわかんないんですけど。
And this eliminates any need for any more rupees for the rest of the run. We don't need any more rupees left. We don't even need to rent the last 2 items, the sand rod or even the boomerang.
これ悪いことなんで
Yeah,
すか？
that ice rod clip, that first one, let us enter
アイスロッドを上から、
without going to get the big bomb.
アイスロッドで上から氷を降らして、その氷に
2-3 minute
固まるように
And requires.
水の中に入ることによって、無理やり水中に潜ってって感じですか
In
ね。
theory.
本来なら別アイテムかなんかいるんですかね。
But the precision doesn't stop there.
Nope, it gets worse.
That was medium difficulty. High difficulty coming up soon.
So the soft lock I mentioned, it can happen when I attempt to do the boss skip of this place. If I go up the stairs in a certain way, it could cause me to infinitely
上だけじゃなくて
go
下からも
on
抜けれ
stairs
るか、
up
この
the
ゲー
stairs
ム。
forever.
This is the 70-star door for Koopa.
So I'm gonna go ahead. Since I'm out of
床
bounds,
下
I'm
から天井まで抜けるなと
slowly
いう
fall
ね。
into the water, and I'm gonna position myself right here and very careful. There we go.
Nice.
And there we go.
We're good.
And that's Swamp Palace.
Swamp Palace done. Easy. How many
なん
keys
か
did you
1
pick up
個
in
ダンジョン
that
こなしましたけ
dungeon?
ど。
How many enemies did you be in that dungeon? Grand total of nothing.
Big fat goose egg.
So it's good that that went pretty well. Aside from the soft lock, what else could have went wrong with that is that if I wasn't close enough to clipping into that room and staying in the wall, I could avoid out and had to do that either ice rod clip again. But if I clipped in bounds, I would have to fight Argus, and that's about a minute down the drain. But now, very conveniently for us, we got Desert Palace next. But we don't have the Sand Rod. Now, I'm going to show you all how to complete Desert Palace without even setting foot into the desert itself. We're going to be in the Misery Mire the entire time. We're going to skip everything. The Desert Palace, Desert Boss, and just the desert in general. Yeah, we really don't need Sand Rod, but we do utilize every other rod that we can get. The Ice Rod, the Fire Rod, and the Tornado Rod all have a role
これ、表世界のことをハイラルって呼んでいいんですかね。
Just line myself up here. There we go.
Wow.
Nice.
That was really well done. It may have looked easy, but that was all very, very precise.
There's still the boss skip here. This one. All right, there we go.
Boom.
There's Desert
流
Palace.
れるように抜けますね。
You thought Swamp Palace was easy. Well, that was actually much harder, but
You thought Swamp Palace was short. Well,
I do want to give a huge, huge shout out to Xandergoth, who ran this at SGDQ 2014, 4 years ago. He found the Desert Palace boss skip, like, I think it was right before his run.
yeah, like an hour before his run.
And it really changed up everything about how where this run is now. So if I can get a round of applause for Xandergoth, I would really appreciate that.
やっぱりゼルダの伝説なんですね、これも。また。これもまた。
Alright, so I'm gonna make my way to Kakariko Village. We're heading to Skullwoods right now. This is actually where you can kind of play around with the route. You don't necessarily have to do Skullwoods right now. You can actually do Ice Ruins right now and then do Skullwoods afterwards. Or you can also do you can do either one of them first, and then before doing the other, you can go to Dark Palace and do that instead. But if you're gonna do Dark Palace, you want to do Turtle Rock right away. But some little flexibility you can have with the route. It's pretty kind of nice. But it really comes down to personal preference mostly.
and we're going to Skull Woods first.
Yeah.
Where this dungeon's not nearly as broken as Desert and Swamp, but we still have some fun stuff in here. Like darkness. And not being able to see the video game.
So a lot of rooms in this place really rely on enemy movement. Unfortunately, that Gibdo moved to the right, so I had to wait for one of the cycles on the little fire sword rope thing. But there is gonna be one room where luck really matters, and I would really like to have good enemy movements. So I could really hope for the best. And we'll get to that room soon enough. But for now, there is some enemy movement we do have to deal with in this upcoming room, but it might not be too bad. Alright, well he was dead in the middle, so I had to take the time to use the flame. It's not that bad, but you know. Now, for the longest time, we've been trying to find a way to skip all of Skullwoods because the Sarah's portrait is just sitting on the outside laughing at us. But unfortunately, it's been found recently that there's actually an invisible wall surrounding the portrait specifically, so there's no way for Link to actually get through, even if there were a possible way to get out of bounds to get to it. So pretty unfortunate, but
another barrier we have to figure out how to skip.
We've tried a lot, and we just haven't been able to yet. Maybe someday.
So the upcoming room I have right now, this is where monster movement really matters. I want to try to get one of the statues on a switch and then get out of bounds as quickly as possible before the wall master gets in. And they were perfect. They were perfect movement. So I was able to get up here because if they were too much in the way and I take hits from them, too many hits, and if I would attempt to Tornado Rod up there, I could potentially Tornado Rod right into the Wall Master, but thankfully that didn't happen. Oof.
今のちょっと若干怪しかったですけど、大丈夫です
And
か
we got this little mini boss fight here.
It blew my mind. I was
このゲー
watching
ム本当に
speedruns when
2D アクションなの
I
に
first saw
高低差を意識したアクションがすごい多いですね。
destroy Gibdo.
Yeah, and so you might have seen Zaheer merge into the wall on the upper left corner of the room there. The reason he did that is because when he merges in and then comes right back out, the hand will instantly try to flatten Link onto the ground instead of waiting.
Unsuccessfully. That was a quick dash cancel just to get this key without having to wait for those extremely slow-moving platforms.
When you void out, it returns you to the last safe place that you were standing, and so he stepped onto that platform before he did that.
So we'll just burn these
その
Gibdos
せい
up
と言
real
っていいのか
quick
どうなのか。
and open this door. We get a pretty
ま
big
さか、想定、任天堂はこれを想定していたのか
this dungeon.
まさか、と言ったよう
It's
な。
called the eyeball duplication glitch.
And it's a good one.
Now, what I'm gonna do, I have to kill that enemy. He cannot be in the way for this. So I throw this at the pedestal like that, so I'm able to re-grab it out of that. And now that the eyeball is set to inside a pedestal, I cannot drop it again, which is why I had to kill that eyeball bat or eyesore. Because if he dropped it right after at any point after the duplication, he cannot pick it back up. So that's why I had to slowly walk over to the other pedestal and throw it in there.
And so that allows you to have two eyeballs essentially for the price of one there.
So here we have a boss fight, Knuckle Master.
This is a tough boss fight too. Man.
Zaheer, can you explain how you do this boss fight?
Okay. So I go towards the top right here. And then I'm out.
Yeah, that skip right there was that was found like instantly when the game came out.
Day
Like,
one.
The boss wants you to skip him. He allows you to.
うーん。
That's why I don't know how to fight him because I just used that in my first playthrough.
I don't know how to fight him either. It's one of those things like, I think I should know how to do that, but I just don't.
So it might seem like I'm actually going into that portal a little earlier than usual. If you just do a grab animation by just pressing A, you can just gain control of Link immediately and just go into the portals just slightly earlier. So now we're gonna make our way.
今のは、グラブアニメーションを見てから、飛ぶことによって、なんか割と簡単に
And you might have
でき
noticed
そう
the
ですね。
pattern here.
通常プレイで
We
も。
skipped 3 bosses already. And
この RT を見てから、
and
このゲームを勝つには果たして通常攻略ができるのかどうなのか。
as well, but this will actually be the final boss that we get to skip. throughout the run. Every boss afterwards, we do have to fight. Oh, whoops.
See this trick again, same thing that was used to get on the wall for Desert Palace skip. Here he's going to walk along the edge in order to avoid a cutscene trigger that's just annoying.
Where Hilda talks to us for a bit.
Yeah.
Who's Hilda? Do we know her?
So now would be a great time for donations. This cave is pretty slow.
It's basically an auto-scroller.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we read those, we have update $532 away. So let's get it.
Are you sure about that? There was a big donation. This came
Look,
through.
I have a degree in math here. I better learn how to read and basic numbers here. So we have, speaking of numbers, we have a $100 donation from Zaz. Zaz says, hi from the off-camera side of the room. What side is that? Glad I'm here for this Zelda because everyone should play it. We've got $25 from Sunky Kong says, hey Zahir, super hyped to see you destroying this run. I want to thank you personally for inspiring me and many others to speedrun this great speed game. You can hype. I'm sorry, hype. My bad.
Hype.
Sorry. And $50 from Pasha says, hey Z, I'm so happy you got to run this game for such an awesome cause. I'm looking forward to you breaking this game to pieces one more time. Good luck.
Thank you, Sunky and Patch. So, just a little bit of some backstory. This is my first speed game that I've learned, and I learned this back in 2014, March of 2014, and I've been running this game ever since. This game is yet to... It's always fun to run.
And you recently got the world record. You reclaimed it. Or was it a reclaim or was it a claim? I think it was a reclaim.
Reclaim.
Yeah.
Zahir, what was that thing called? Quick Equip?
Quick equip, yeah.
Quick Equip. Well, I'm going to quickly equip my chat to make sure you all start clapping because we just met the Simply of the Night blindfolded incentive. Good job, everybody.
これで、あれですかね。
You walked out the wall. How'd you do that?
言
Explain
ってきました
that.
ね。
Match.
次のセットアップブロックで、悪魔女と役ラゲッカの野草曲、
Yeah, that's ice runs.
目隠しプレイが。
Boss is dead.
何も使わずに抜けました、
Do
今
you。want to give some context on that clip? Because it's a weird one.
So, you got the elevators moving up and down, and I stand on the one moving up, and then I wait till the wall pushes me out, but I try to go right back into positioning right before it transitions to the next floor. And then I end up just clipping into that wall, and then I do a Pegasus dash to get out of bounds. And then I make my way to a certain spot, fall a few times, and end up in a boss room. But I have to be pretty careful with that because if I was further south, I could have spawned the boss. And Darkstair is one of the slowest bosses in the game. It would have cost me 3 minutes if I spawned it, and the entire spawn zone is the very bottom half of the arena. But thankfully, that didn't happen. I just threw 2 fire rods in the middle, melted his invisible ice, and he was done.
Yeah, thankfully, in addition to the skip that he just did in the ice ruins, it's very convenient that you can see Link's shadow when he's out of bounds. If you couldn't do that, like, that trick would be, like, exponentially harder than what it already is.
So I'm gonna make another safety save right now, because something can happen attempting Dark Maze Skip, where when I go out of bounds, and if I fall into the water, I would have no choice but to just continuously void out until Link dies. So I'm just gonna have that just in case.
Yeah, you mentioned Dark Maze Skip because in this game there is a area right before Dark Palace. It's a big old scary maze that's actually not that difficult casually, but it is long, and so we have a clever little skip to get around it.
So I'm just gonna get through just a few more cutscenes, and then I'm gonna make my way to where a Snapdragon is, which is one of those chomper enemies. And it's a good thing that I have full health right now. Sword beams will help me perform this. Okay, so not a big deal.
おっと
Oof.
怖かったですね。
That would have ended it. Thanks to our friend the Chomper, we were able to kind of move Link's geometry and just get right on top of that little legend.
Yeah, I'm
Not even doing that. That was a technical explanation, but
セーブし
So
ま
I
したね。
guess I'm just gonna have to go through Dark Palace with one heart.
ナイスセーブ。
At least the beeping is not just super constant like it is in older Zelda titles. But hopefully I don't die.
now this dungeon is great for all you viewers at home. It's very difficult to see in some later rooms, but trust us, Zaheer knows where he's going.
So there's an enemy in here in the dark. Alright, so he didn't get pushed off and void out. He's still there, but it did push him a good ways away, so he shouldn't be able to hit me. Alright. I should be safe in this room. So a lot of this dungeon I just go through in the dark. There will be certain rooms
そうなんですね。
where it's
死んじゃう
better
とレンタル
to
装
keep
備全
dark,
部返却されちゃうの
so you
で、
can
お金が
keep lines
集め
like
をしな
that.
き
It's
し直さ
that
ないとい
way
けないの
for
で
a certain、
実
room with
質かなり時間を
the
乗らせに
ground
なってしまうの
itself.
で、ま
You'll see what I mean in
Save
a
が。
moment. But there's very few times where I actually have to rely on the lamp in this dungeon. Until the boss. I will need it for the boss.
あ、こういうの補足ありがとうございます。確かに、
Something
この
interesting
ハー
about
トエッ
Dark
クの時
Palace
の
is that out of the
ビープ
12
音、
dungeons in the game,
激しいと
this is the only
ビビります
one
ね。
that does not really have any glitches that you can use to skip parts of it. However, it does have a lot of routing tricks that make it a lot faster
で
than
もハード
other
1でも
ones.
進んでることは結構安心できるというか、
So now would be a great time for
多分しばらく悪いことしないだろうというね。
Oh, that's not cute. Zenik has a $300 donation. You know, we need to get a spotlight here because everybody apparently donating is sitting in the audience here. It says, "Hey guys, I'm sitting here in the second row. Where you at?" See, there he is. Says, here's a small donation from the 100 Pounds Achievement Hunter community. Us hardcore gamer niches got to stick together. Much love to speedrunning and the GDQs. And of course, don't forget, we did unlock that blindfold incentive, and so that's going to be some good stuff coming up with Zaheer's run. And of course, $100 went towards that because Rumscotch needs to do a Symphony of the Night. I don't know what it is.
300ドル
And we
Not
got
bad.
$100 from Zallard one.
Oh, Zalad?
Of course, he's got to support all these incredible charities.
この
Definitely
何気
need
に
to
普通の
also
ダッシュ
donate
も
and
かなり
check
うまい
out
ですよ
that
ね。
Blindfolded Symphony Night. Y'all know I'm an advocate of that Blindfolded GDQx action.
I had the pleasure of watching Rom Scout practice that in his house the other day, and it's very strange watching a man play a video game with no TV on, just sitting there with headphones. So you're all gonna enjoy it because you'll get to see the game. I didn't get to see the game. I just trust he was doing it right.
So for this boss here, I had to very carefully time each of those bomb drops.
大きいボムが
Because
す
if
ごいです
one
ね。
bomb was dropped too close to another one, it would still show him getting hit like that, but it wouldn't actually do any damage. So I messed up one of the timings on one of the bombs, so I had to throw 2 bombs instead of just 1, but ideally 1 bomb afterwards would have been what I
あ、
wanted.
これようやくまともにボス戦やってますね。
But now we get to the second phase of the fight.
あっと。ここに来て配信自体が闇の世界に包まれたかと思っていましたが、すぐに持ってきましたね。
So this is a good spot for him.
もしかして今のも演出だった？
There we go.
So I got pretty lucky with that fight, because what he could have opted to do is he doesn't always flinch like that in an attack right away when you hit him. He can choose to just not care and then just run around the room and then do a big roar to make all the fires disappear. And I'd have to take the time to do that again, but thankfully that wasn't the case. And I will be getting a heart container right here because I only had 2 hearts remaining. And I'm gonna do a pretty big skip soon enough that requires me to take a hit that does 2 hearts worth of damage. So I
最初に
do
起こしに来てくれたこのところもこのポジなんですね。
So as I mentioned earlier, whenever you do Dark Palace, you always wanna do
書いて
Turtle Rock
だから
right
倒さないとい
afterwards.
けない。
So I'm gonna go ahead and equip my Fire Rod. This is one of the few moments where right after a dungeon, I don't
ボス
immediately
部屋
just
と
fast
絵
travel
の
out
場
of
所が同じ
here
なのが良くないんじゃないでしょう
because
かね。
Turtle Rock is just directly south of where we are right now. But instead of going to the vacant house and going through the portal and then taking the time to go through another portal to get to where Turtle Rock is, I'm just gonna do this Fire Rod boost. Or not. I had to kind of rush it there because the Hinox was throwing bombs and I don't want to deal with him right now. So just
多分ダメージブーストで
a little out of bounds part there and just make my way through to the
あ
rock.
の距離でも超えられるはずですけど、まあちょっと
Alright,
失敗
now
したの
what
で
I'm
スイッチ
gonna
なんで
do,
すかね。
I'm gonna do this a storage glitch. I'm gonna swim to this dock right here, but now I'm not gonna press A, B, and not take any damage, so that whatever wall I touch, he could jump right out of.
Like it's a dock.
Yeah, and then I can get the turtle rock only
これは普通の
really early and
入
still
場方法っぽいね。
saving the turtles because, folks, this is a speed run. We're here to save the frames, not the animals. So you won't see me quick equip between attacking those res ropes there because it's kind of the same idea as that one soldier in Hyrule Castle earlier, where if I try to do it too quickly and then use the second one, it won't hit, which really matters for that fight because they can warp it. It takes a while. So, but here we're gonna do Turtle Rock Big Key Skip.
もう何が普通で
So I use
何
that
が普通じゃないのかよくわからなくなってきました。
have the res rope spawn here, shoot that, and then tornado rod right into that.
And that's a trick that's gone through a lot of renovation to become as nice and slick as it is now.
A huge, huge shout out to Bunny Bye. Bunny Bye not only discovered the Ice Rod clip, but found this newer method for that big key skip because the previous method of skipping that big key was just completely awful. So thank you, Bunny Bye.
Oh. 普通に戦ってますね。
So the first phase of the Grinex fight, I do 2 tornado rods each time. It might look like I could go ahead and sneak in a third one, but if he's about to do that attack, you can't actually hit him. So I just do 2 at a time. But you only need to hit him 5 times with that before the next phase starts. And I positioned myself and shot an arrow so that the arrow could possibly just hit him square in the head right here.
Got him.
Unfortunately, he gave me the worst attack that he could do is a spin. The best thing he could do is jump back like that and just attack, so I can just get a bunch of hits in. And that attack is okay. It gives me some time to heal if I need to. But anything that's better than a spin like that, unfortunately.
That spin attack, he'll come, like, charge after you, but if you hit him, it just aborts the attack.
But that's it for Turtle Rock.
And if my math is right, that means there's only 1 dungeon left.
That's right. Thieves' Hideout is just left. As I mentioned earlier, we saved Thieves' Hideout for last instead of doing it right away, even though it's the closest dungeon to us when we first come in the low roll. The reason for that is the developers never intended for you to beat Desert Palace before Thieves' Hideout, because in order to unlock the Sandrod, you have to beat Thieves' Hideout first. And now if you beat every other dungeon last, aside from Thieves' Hideout, it plays this cutscene where it shows Link getting the Triforce of Courage. But when I beat Thieves' Hideout, that cutscene automatically gets skipped. It just plays the normal one where he allows you to be able to rent the Sandrod pretty much, which is the easiest 2-minute save we could have in this game. So that's really nice.
it's cool because there's basically 2 cutscenes you get after a dungeon. Either get the Triforce of Courage after a final dungeon, or in this case you can get the Sand Rod, which is way shorter of a cutscene. And it's sad you don't get the lore, but this is a speedrun. Lore is not important at the exact moment in time.
You can practically make new lore with how the route goes.
Yeah, Link doesn't even need the Triforce of Courage. He's just gonna walk up and get Yuga. Did you know the answers go 2, 3, 1 right there? Little clever little nod.
It's the best way to remember that those round of answers. 23 is number 1 from, Ocarina of Time. It's a good pattern, very recognizable. So this is Steve's hideout, and this room right here, this is my favorite room in the dungeon because it's the only fun one. Because what I have to do here, I can easily just clip beneath this
スケ
room.
ジュールは一応左に書いてあるのもそう
But
で
I
すし、好き
actually
であり
have to
ま
take
す。
the time to press all 3 of the switches
ありがとうござい
to
ます。
unlock the door. Because even though Link can
今、
enter
貼
this
ら
room
れた
from
リン
the
クが
other
スケジュール
side
になっ
of
てま
that
す。
locked door, Thief Girl cannot. So I have to unlock these doors just for her.
We'll be meeting her in just a moment, and we'll be escorting her to the boss room.
Try as we might, we still have not found a way to skip Thief Girl.
It's okay. Link needs some company. It's been a long adventure. A solid hour is what it's been.
なんか割と普通に攻略してますね。
Yeah, I believe there's even ways
こ
where
ん
you
なに
can get out
真
of
面目にダンジョン
bounds,
攻略してるの。
into the boss room, but
珍
because
しい
you
んじゃない
don't
ですか。
have Thief Girl, the boss fight doesn't activate
Nintendo was clever with this one.
for once in this game.
Yeah, for one.
The cabin on the outside that has the Osvala painting, as far as I remember, doesn't actually have a loading zone unless Thief Girl opens the door for you. So she kind of locks a lot of this dungeon out, unfortunately. But that's the ground clip I was talking about. I had to specifically grab the top half of the statue from the right side. If I grabbed the bottom half, I would have actually landed
ちょっと真面目にやってると思ったらこれですよ。
in bounds. But I really did not want that to happen because I had to activate that other switch to unlock the other door in that room so that Thief Girl can get in from the other side.
And a quick dash, and we're at the mini boss room. These guys can do some big damage if you let them. But we won't let them.
So there's actually a way to skip this boss fight, but it's not faster. It's actually not faster to do. It takes a lot of time to set up
今
for
の
it.
床の抜け方、死亡判定にならないんですね。なんか普通は死亡判定になり
You're
そうなもん
better
で
off
すけど。
just doing that fight. So this is Thief Girl right here. This is a thief who got captured and thrown in prison, and if she's caught by any of the Blue Zazak enemies, she gets thrown right back into prison. But unfortunately, there's more to that. Any other normal enemy that comes in contact with Thief Girl, she will stop in place, and you have to come back and let her know everything's gonna be alright. It's kind of unfortunate. You would think for a thief should be good at, running away from things instead of, standing still upon contact.
そうですね。マップはすでに読み込まれていないと、このゲートはできませんよね。
Maybe not the best thief girl.
She got captured after all.
She's
ま
not
あ、
good for
フロア
anything.
移動とかのポイントとかに無理やり行くっていうのもありますけど。
Even though we could get there ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoa, wait. I take it back. There is one thing she is good at. She's very good at stealing the fun out of this dungeon. Shout-outs to Fezaheim. I took that joke from her. I know she'd be happy.
And she can't swim either.
Yeah. To be fair, neither could Link with until the flippers, so...
Should have got an extra pair.
Give him each one flipper.
Then you can only half swim. I think that's still drowning gymnast.
So I'm gonna make my way here, but I'm gonna try to move a little carefully. So not only does she not fall, but I didn't spawn a group of blue Zazaks either. So that
多分こ
worked
の
out pretty well.
後続の人は、
And
一度立ち止まったら、ちゃんとリンクがそばに行ってあげないと、もう再び動き出すことがないので、
I got it. Hey.
Hey. 30 frames.
リンクは多分これ悪いことできません
I'm
ね。
gonna equip the bow right now, and I'm gonna time a shot like that, so he gets pushed out of the way because you really don't want them to capture her at this point.
That's a spooky moment no matter what.
I think I shot that too late. Yeah, I shot that too late. That's alright. So
女の子っていうのなんか
you
お
do
か
want
し
to
い。
kind of be careful
お
with
かし
this
いけど
room.
ですか。
You don't
そ
want
んな
like,
に
any
幼
of
く
the
は見えま
rats
せんけ
to
ど。
push you off if you get pushed off and you fall. I had no choice. That monster tail was just there.
2 out of 3. We're almost there.
It's probably gonna happen in the Chain and Ballroom in Low Roll
Yeah.
Castle. Oh, but as to more as to why this room is my favorite room in the dungeon, I get to carefully place bombs like that and have Thief Girl in a very specific spot. Well, it wasn't perfect because the ideal would have been for the blue Zazak to be boosted right to where Thief Girl is, and then I can just finish him off. But it was close enough. So she's gonna stand right there, and I'm gonna Tornado Rod onto the back of this thing so I can just merge in right away and go straight to the boss key.
これは本当に必要なんでしょうか。
And then we got Style Blind coming up. I'm gonna grab these hearts because he does have some factor of luck on his movements and the type of attack he does in a certain part of the fight. But I'm gonna be using Hammer. Hammer is a very good item against Style Blind for some reason. For one hammer swing, it's possible
なるほど。
for me to get a phantom hit
盾
for
の
each
中
hammer
に、
swing on the very
盾の
last
中に
phase.
絵になって入ることによって相手の後ろを取るという。盾を捨
He
て
gave
た
me。the best attack, so that's nice. Like right there. There's
この敵なかなか
I'm doing two
敵より
hits with
高い
one
ですね。
hammer swing, and that does a lot of damage. So, oops. Okay, that would have finished him, but the head hit me out of the way. So that's why. That's also why I don't.
頭を無にして敵より高いなって褒めようとしたら、
Even though it's
カー
really
ドの方で死
laggy,
んでました。
but if I do quick equip, the phantom hit won't happen. So I just had to let the hammer go. It's full course. Now would be a good time for donations.
Alrighty then. We have a $25 donation from the Wayfaring Fox 59. It says, "Hey, Zaheer, wishing you the best closing out this run. I'm really digging the hug train, and I would like to keep that going. So if both couches can hug it out, I'll donate an extra $10.
Is this $10? Y'all in the crowd better hug too.
今回結構、なんか、
Oh man. We
ドネー
got
トでハグして
$100
くれって
from
いうメッセージが多い
Euro.
ですね。
Euro says $5 train. Psh, whatever. All aboard the $100 train. Oh boy. And of course we got $15 from Varen says cheers. And we've got $25 from Missions that says good money for a good cause. Also, let's make sure all of our runners are blindfolded. All of them.
Blind
okay.
game's done quick.
It's okay. Low Roll Castle's not that difficult. I'm sure Zaheer can take care of it. No problem.
Yeah,
I'm joking on this one. Please don't.
Frame perfect trick, no problem. 60 frames per second, easy peasy.
お、よいよ。
Oops, that's alright. Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
do this
the
right here
Mexican
because the final boss is very, very dangerous. And an any percent speedrun because I don't have a shield, which means I can't block any of his attacks. I'm not getting any mail upgrade because they're too far out of the way. And I only have the Master Sword. I can only do so much damage.
This entire like final dungeon areas, it's really fun. It's really cool, and we're gonna experience a solid eighth of it.
So I'm gonna fight this
Yo, ganyan
fiery chain and ball
水だと
guy.
もっと
He's
抜けら
got
れてし
more
まう。
health than the chain and ball guy back at Hyrule, but how I do the fight is the same exact idea: 3 sword hits and then a bow to cancel that out until he dies. Surprisingly, I didn't run into the final monster item, the monster
この
horn.
ゲーム、
That
全
room
的
is
に音楽
usually
のアレン
the
ジがいいで
place
すね。
where you'd get a bunch of monster stuff. So no, 3 for 3, I guess.
Well, that's good. Got a minor. I'd say a minor trick coming up. Maybe major. Yeah, let's go with major. I think it's a major trick. Yeah.
Major.
We got trial skip coming up,
美しいエイム。
and it is a frame perfect trick.
You're supposed to have to do 4 different trials that test your abilities to use certain items, but we just skip it.
This one is frame.
怪しいことしてますよ。
Second try is good.
回転切りの反動と爆風を利用しましたね。
As we head to Yuga Ganon, would you like to give a quick explanation what that was?
また裏口事情してますけど。
That was trial skip. So I did a spin attack to recoil off of the cracked little rock right above where the bomb flower was. And I timed letting go of the B button as soon as I saw the 4th red bomb flash, so that when he gets boosted into the air, the explosion would push him back. So this is Yu Ganon. He's the hardest fight in the run because he does a lot of damage. That attack right there, 5 hearts. 5 hearts, so he does pretty big damage. And there's something really important to know with this fight. When he disappears, you can kind of see some particles floating in a certain direction. Oh, okay. That's alright. But, so you can get an idea of where he's going to teleport to, which is very important to know, because he can reappear having a ready attack just to go and get you. And his quickest attack does 3 hearts.
Zaheer, you actually just taught me something, and I feel really dumb.
Is it,
That would have helped with some runs, I think, along the way.
is it the particle thing?
Yeah, just the particle thing. No idea.
It really helps for this part too, so he
Yeah.
goes down, so I have an idea of where the trident is going to go to.
I always thought you said like a good third
何の
sense
説明もありま
with
せんが、この敵ザイアンでしたね。
So I'm also using the bow. The bow helps to just get hits in while I'm far away, because most of the time
いや
I
ー、
don't
強
wanna
か
get
った
too
です
close.
ね。
So I got plenty of health, so I'm going to go for Crazy Tennis.
Can't have a Zelda game that doesn't end with a battle of tennis.
Oh. Alright, that's okay. That's alright. Alright, that's okay. So the deal with the tennis in this game,
リンク伝統ゲームの
most
人って
other
言ってました
Zelda
ね。この
games, to the
タッ
best
チ
of
ボ
my
ール。
knowledge, you can just spam the sword and he'll hit it every time. You can't really do that with the tennis in this game. Your sword hits have to be timed, because if you just mash the sword and he hits the ball, it's just gonna bounce a little bit away and then go right back at Link. So, and it does 3 hearts of damage.
この BGM も熱い
Not
ですね。
something I can do for the rest of the fight, but towards the end of the fight, when he starts throwing 2 balls, that's when I could mash. So, and the fire bats in this fight, I think they do 2 hearts, so definitely don't want to get hit by those either. So,
ま
I
た
think
光の
there's
上で
sort
倒
of
す
a
のかって感じですけど、
semicircular pattern that you can run around in to avoid those.
結構緊張しますね、これ。
alright.
ちょっと、1回目距離が離れているという。おお。避けるのが美しい避けですね。
So same deal with this part. Avoid fire bats. But the fire bats, they move in this time is a little different here. They kind of altered their own clockwise rotation. if that's the right way to put it. But so here I could just mash, and the fight's pretty much done. Oh, a heads up, timing does not stop when I kill Yuganon. Timing ends the moment I touch the Triforce. So it's like a good minute after the final blow to Ganon.
That's a good game.
I didn't die, so that's great.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
So we kind of just have to let Zelda talk
Oh.
for a bit.
So, overall, do you think
Well,
more
time
people should get in this
は変わってませんね。
game? You think
so
that your
slow
world
っぽいです
record
が。
should be contested, or what do you think?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. They are given all the fantastic changes, especially found by Bunny Boy as of late with all the ice rod clipping. This is actually the easiest this run has ever been to run. So it's very beginner friendly. I highly recommend it to anybody. It's really fun. It's not a lot of cooldown time at all either.
We're coming up on time.
Time.
タイムということで、GG です。
Hold on.
いやー、面白いゲームでしたね。神々のトライフォース
Do
2。
you have any closing
普通に
thoughts
プレイしたくなり
here?
ました。
There's a glitch in the credits. I want to show that off.
How do you feel about that run overall?
You got all the major
One-
stuff.
So
Yeah, real quick.
125.23.
孫をことなき、
It's fine. It's
ゼルダの伝説の
It's
血を引
fine.
くもの
I'll
って感じでし
I'll
た。
take that time. It's it beats the estimate. So,
It's the important thing at GDQ, yeah.
my current PB is 121.01. So I did lose quite a bit of time, but overall, I'm pretty happy with how most things went. But I'll let you know when we get closer to the glitch in the credits, because it's somewhere towards the middle or towards the end of it. But basically, I would have to mash B the whole time. Or, well, not the whole time, but by the time it happens, I would have to be mashing B. But
あ、
I'll
コメ
come
ントあり
up
がとうござ
soon
いま
enough.
す。クレジットにバグがあると。
But so the deal with this glitch in the credits is that Link is loaded somewhere. Link is still loaded in the game. You can't see him, but he's loaded somewhere. And you can actually move around and use your sword and all that stuff.
Who's the guy in this painting?
I don't know.
Russo? Don't know.
I've
I've
never
heard of him.
seen that guy before.
I think he has the power gloves.
What are those?
I don't know. Alright, so it should be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, I think this should be it. Okay, no, not yet.
Got all excited.
もう
Should be
すぐだよって言いなが
after
ら
this.、
まだって言ってましたね。じらすのがうまい。
Yeah, it should be here. So keep an eye on the dirt road. There he is. There he is.
なんか、剣が振られてましたね。
So, the credits is coming to a close, and I want to huge shout out to the entire A Link Between Worlds community, especially Romulost. He has really helped me out a bunch with try to clean up on certain strats and movement and all that stuff. And he has a full tutorial that's up to date with this game. So if you want to check that out, give RomuLostX a look and a follow or subscribe as well. And everyone else from the Olympic Team Worlds community as well. Huge shout out to Oicho, big supporter, one of the runners as well. Bunny Boy again, Zandergoff, and everyone else from the Olympic Team Worlds community as well.
岩田の文字が見えるとちょっと
And
辛くなり
also
ます
a
ね。
huge thank you to the GDQ staff. I'm very grateful to have run this game at a marathon. So huge applause to the GDQ staff. ということで、セットアップブロックというのは、まあ、スタッフがゲームやるかやらないかみたいな感じのものを用意しておいて、まあ、時間調整のために使えるようにしてますが、まあ、時間が当初の手通り進んでいるので、次は月下な総局の目隠しでプレイするっていうのがやります。じゃあ、ちょっと失礼します。
During that run, we did have the Symphony of the Night blindfolded run coming up by the one and only Rom Scout. We do have a little prize show off here coming up in just a little bit. So we have a lot of donations, obviously, especially towards that incentive. So this is definitely not the time to go anywhere. But before we get to that, let's go catch up on these numerous donations here. Remember, all your donations are going to 10 different charities. In fact, in case you don't know, those 10 charities, we've got Able Gamers, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Call of Duty, Direct Relief, Doctors Without Borders, Extra Life, Make-A-Wish Foundation, Save the Children, St. Jude's Hospital, and To Write Love on Her Arm. So remember, every one of those donations goes to those 10 charities. All right, you all. So let's read some more of these donations, shall we? We have $5 from Miss Moonshine. Says, "Hey, me, Big John, you're doing a great job as an announcer. Thank you. I can't afford a lot, but put this towards one of my favorite games, Symphony of the Night." We've got $25 from Kenan, who says, "Yo, I got to see this Castlevania Symphony of the Night blindfolded. Put my money towards this." You're gonna hear a lot of these Symphony of Nights. A lot of you all were very, very generous putting it towards that $15,000 incentive. We have $50 from Mere Knight. Says, "Looking forward to that blindfold run. Good luck." $25 from Lenny, who says, "One ticket for the Symphony of the Night blindfolded run. Donation train, please." We've got $20 from Shadow Dart. "Let's make that Symphony of the Night run happen. Also, good luck to all the runners. Greetings from Earth." That's a new place. We have $15 from Adam the Fever. Says, "Goodness gracious, another GDQ. Well, time to watch some amazing speedrunners do what they do best. Well, I do what I do best. Donate. Here's to the Symphony of the Night blindfolded run." We have $100 anonymously donated. That says, "Put this towards the blindfolded Symphony of the Night run. Been watching GDQ for years and love every event. Keep it up." $25 from Kiefer. He says, "A hug for Rom Scout. Let's see you and Pusheen crush Symphony of the Night." $25 from Cameron. Says, "Must see my favorite Metroidvania game, Symphony of the Night done blindfolded. And never mind pants." I think I need a Symphony of the Night counter right now. $100 anonymously donated. Says, "Shout outs to all the runners. You guys are awesome." Osis puts $25 in that donation pool, says, hey, y'all, I'm so glad that what was originally supposed to be a one-off marathon has now become an annual tradition. Shout out to everyone who made this happen, as well as the runners and my fellow mods. Love y'all. Love. Since Big John's my bud, let him pick where it goes. I'll get to that. $10 from Albie. Thank you for what you are doing. Acklerin with $25 says, gotta get in for that blindfolded Symphony of the Night run. In case you haven't read between the contest clues, I wonder what run is coming up next. Yes, it's that blindfolded Symphony of the Night run coming up with Romscout. You know, who needs a blindfold? I can just stand in front of him. It's the same difference, right? $5 anonymously donated says, thanks to everyone who makes this event possible. We'll be back for more Castlevania, please. Yes. Jen Carr with $10 says, get your hype on, everyone. Thank you, Pokemon Lover, for your $15 donation as well. Another anonymous $25 that says, guys, if everyone watching right now can spare $1, we can easily fund. Well, apparently we did. And of course, that $25 is here's for a few people who couldn't do it. Mad Scientist Mike with $25 as well says, thanks to everyone working the event. They are always a great watch. So remember, you all, if you want to know what's being played, remember this event is going through tomorrow, so go to gamesdonequick.com, check out the schedule. We've got some more things that we need to make happen. I might be a little biased here, but there is a Mario Brothers 3 co-op coming up tomorrow. And we need to make that happen. That is a Mario Brothers 3 co-op run. $20,000 is the amount required. That is a co-op run between my buddies, the Legless Wonder Grand Pooh Bear, and the Canadian Ham himself, Mitch Flowerpower. So if you want to see those two tackle it co-op style right after a certain person's lost level run, hint, hint, you all need to make that happen. That's tomorrow, okay? And of course, there's Cheese's Mario 64 run, turned that into a 120 star. Gotta make these Mario things. I'm a little biased, but we gotta get them in. Donation from Silver Knight 210 says, here's an extra $5 to charity because Big John is awesome. Oh. Freelancer, where's Freelancer at? Freelancer standing back there with $100, chat. Hello, thank you. Says, hello from the back of the room. Also, save the frames. The frames are real, the animals are not. Wow. They're frauds. We have $10 that was anonymously donated. Says, my budget is tight, but not as tight as seeing Blindfolded Symphony of the Night. We got a $5 anonymous donation that simply says, heart. Oh. $25 anonymously donated. It says, praise the sun. We got a $25 donation from Shiru Furi. That was said, I really enjoyed the Mega Man X incentive. It said, having fun watching all the runs. Can't wait to see maybe runs of Mega Man 11 next GDQ and eventually Mega Man X9. I have to call the Capcom about that one. We'll see about that. But thank you so much for that $25. Fallen One has donated $100 as well. Woo! And Fallen One says, hi, it's GDQx, Fallen One here. I'm wearing my Harvey Relief Done Quick shirt, and I got a lot of compliments about it. I made sure everyone knew that this
はい、
was
ということ
going
で、
on this
ちょ
weekend.
っと画面がずれたりしましたが、治りました。ご迷惑をおかけしました。次は、何度か言ってますが、悪魔女ドラキュラ X 月下の総局の、プレイヤーの方が目隠しを1500ドル達成したことによって行われる、目隠しをしながらプレイするっていう。
thing happened, we are about just about $2,900 short of the $5,000 goal. So, gotta get that in during this run, you know. If history repeats itself, maybe we'll have controller issues again.
これね、まあ、月下の当局、解説できる人がね、いればいいんですけどね。誰かいませんかね、運営に解説できる人が。いればな、助かるんだけどなっていう。
We have $100 from Weird Gaijin. It says, Big John, my wife and I love your commentary. Yeah, especially when I'm not seeing about egg rolls. Keep it up, and here's another 100 to make sure to see that Symphony of the Night blindfolded run. We have $50 from Max, who says, can't wait for Mr. Llama's D2 normal sorceress run. Let's use this GDQ as an opportunity to prove to Blizzard that there is in fact a Cowler.
なんか、なかなか面白い格好の人がいますね。あれ、光ってますけど、中から見えるんですかね、前が。中なんてない。なるほど。目で見てるから、見えてるに決まってますね。ちょっと何のキャラクターか私も知らないんですよね、あのキャラクター。
And of course, just a reminder for those of you all that are here on site, you know, the expo's ending, but GDQ is going on. We're 24/7, baby. So make sure if you're coming here, you know, you're coming in, make sure you tell them that you're trying to go see GDQx, you know. So I want to get turned away at the door here, so make sure you tell them that you're coming to GDQx after the expo ends, all right?